it. This is exactly it. If I'm going to ignore something, I want to ignore something that is specifically tailored to me.
In a world desperate to tear itself apart, only one man, and some other people, stand in the way of total destruction. Together they will right the wrongs, make bad, good, and single-handedly destroy evil, together. Who is this man, you may ask? This man is Geoff.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Geoff Jones and Friends Make It Better. The show that takes one of life's little annoyances, gives them a podcast, a guest, and a microphone, and an unwavering ego to believe he can make absolutely everything better. Today I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by author Holly Tinsley. Holly, how are you?
I am very good. Thank you very much for inviting me.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you on. It's a lovely, warm summer's day. I think it's summer solstice actually at time of recording this. Longest day of the year. I think we're going to have about 6 hours of absolute dark here before the next day starts. I'm not sure if that's depressing or not. But how have you been anyway? You well?
I've been very good, thank you. It's been one of those weeks this week where I don't know if it's Friday, Sunday, Monday, July, or September. But somehow I have remembered where I'm supposed to be tonight. That's the main thing. But yeah, it's been a hectic week of mostly social media this week.
Well, okay, Tess, because this is all for a reason. So you're an author. Please tell us, what is it that you're working on? What have you got out there at the moment? Where can people find you?
I mean, at the moment, they can mostly find me on Twitter, which is probably where I'm not supposed to be, because if I'm on Twitter, it means I'm not working. But I am the author of The Vanguard Chronicles is my main series that has 2 books currently out. There is We Men of Ash and Shadow, which is the first book, which was an SBFBO 7 finalist, which seems like many years ago now. Second in that series, The Hand That Cast the Bone, that came out a year before last, and I'm currently working on the third in the series. And I also have a standalone out called The Hallows, which launched this year. That's a gaslamp noir, dark comedy, horror, fantasy. I just basically put a whole load of genres into a bazooka and shot it onto a page. And that is the book that came out. So you can find them all on my website, which is HL Tinsley Writes. And yeah, third book hopefully penciled in for early next year.
First of all, very busy. So give us a quick synopsis of the series and the standalone, because the standalone has instantly piqued my interest.
So the Vanguard Chronicles is a gaslamp fantasy. It is a dark urban set in a corrupt city where we follow a protagonist called John Vanguard, who is a former soldier turned mercenary, and he is working for the less than wholesome powers that be in the city. He gets embroiled in some secret plots. There's going to be a revolution, there's lies, there's secrets, there's game playing. It's been described as a little bit like Peaky Blinders, a little bit Gangs of New York. Ooh. And yeah, it's just pretty dark and grim and full of snarky characters.
And right up my street. That's okay. Well, that's on the shopping list. So I'm just making a little note of that one.
As for the other one, The Hallows, that one is probably the strangest thing I've ever written. This is a gaslamp noir fantasy, and it is basically centered around a protagonist who works as what is called an assessor. He's basically an enforcer for this corporate entity that is also an arm of an ancient religious organization who manufacture a magical drug which they oversee and administer to the denizens of the city, which has magical and sometimes monstrous effects. And it's kind of detective, thriller, mystery, fantasy, all rolled into one. It's got flying nuns. It's got lizard women.
Sold. Yes, just always leave with the flying nuns. That's
yeah, that's pretty much it. It's drugs, flying nuns, and violence.
That's the perfect trifecta.
I think so.
Drugs, violence, flying nuns. That's I'm literally going to chip in to get that movie done. Like, I will be a co-producer on that because that's just.
That would be the dream. That would be the dream.
Well, good luck with them all. I mean, they sound absolutely fantastic. A bit different, but also familiar. So it's like it sounds to me like it's things which people can have experienced or experienced before watching and enjoyed, but just with massive twists and turns.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. I like to refer to the Vanguard Chronicles as Gateway Grimdark.
fair play. Well, Holly, no, thanks so much. And yeah, best of luck. And so give us those social handles very quickly.
So Twitter, it's at Holly Tinsley, and the E in Tinsley is a 3. And then website is hltinsleywrites.co.uk.
Perfect. Yeah, everyone check that out because I'm sure you're as interested as I am. Okay, Holly, what is it then that we are making better today?
Well, I think to start with, I think to say, that I will make things better is a bold claim. I will settle for Holly doesn't make things objectively worse.
Okay.
I feel like, that's keep my goals realistic. But I would very much like to discuss how we can improve Facebook advertising, and in particular, mobile game Facebook advertising.
It is consistent, isn't it? It just bombards.
It's consistent, it bombards, and yet somehow it makes no sense whatsoever. Neither in terms of the target audience or the content that you're viewing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen, there's a specific example that I want to give now, and I believe it's called Hero War. And this is a game that I probably see about every 3 or 4 posts on Facebook as I'm scrolling through. And every time I feel like I hate myself a little bit more because I stop and I watch this advert, even though I know that I'm gonna hate every second of what I'm seeing. So to give you an example, the last one I saw, it's some sort of like, it's supposed to be like a fantasy heroic quest game, and it's kind of in the vein of like these Candy Crushes and things like that. And the last advert I saw was a row of these tiny little male characters. So presumably they're all meant to be different types of warriors, so like wizards, warriors, barbarians, that kind of thing. And they're all queuing up in this line to go to this giant character, which is half a woman and half a tree. So the top half is a woman, the bottom half is a tree. And what they do is they dive into a little tunnel just in front of this giant woman tree, and they go headfirst down the tunnel, which goes down into the tree root system, which connects to the woman from the waist up. So if you could picture this in your head now, there's these tiny little men jumping into this wooden tunnel that goes directly up into this woman character. And I'm sat there thinking somebody was actually paid money to come up with this.
So the half woman, half tree, is that kind of like they're merged, or is bottom half, top half?
So it's like a mermaid situation. So the top half of the woman is like a woman, and then the bottom half is the tree with the root system coming out like beneath the ground.
So, and they've gone in and they've gone up through the roots inside of the woman tree hybrid.
Yes.
That's insane.
I mean, it's a powerful image. I'll give it that.
I mean, what I'm thinking is a powerful image, but also I'm assuming it's terrible graphics as well. And what's that one called?
I think it's called Hero War. I mean, it's a massively popular game. I'm sure it must be because they advertise everywhere. But I'm not convinced it's the game itself that is popular so much as it is the adverts, purely because they are so criminally insane.
That's absolutely. So I was doing, because I know exactly the kind of games you're talking about, but I don't get them on Facebook. So I was looking through Facebook, and I had like Indiana Jones and Doom, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, I'm old enough to remember, it's for the films, and Indiana Jones is cool, and the old Doom. But what I have seen, and it's probably across social media, there's lots of card games where it's like almost animated. The insinuation that someone's gonna get their kit off, like if you play the right hand or something. I've never played it, but I'm gonna hazard a guess that that doesn't actually happen, because surely they can't police it or advertise. I don't quite know how it works, but I sit there and think there's gonna be thousands of people who download it just to see if it is a game to get someone's clothes off. And I'm like, this is bad. There's also another one. Oh, I don't know, something to do with a king, and you've got to do the gems to get the thing, and that's everywhere as well. And what do I talk about where these things? I tell you what, this must be as an author, especially in the genres that you write within, because I never used to believe this, but now I do firmly. Our phones are listening to us the whole time. They know everything we Google. They know everything we talk about. They're linked to our laptops and computers and everything. And as an author, you must you must get some of the things that you have to research for your material that must send your algorithms mad. Which is probably why you're getting this half this tree woman hybrid, because it thinks, oh, this Holly is well into this kind of stuff. There's six of men inside a female woman tree.
Yeah, I think, do you know what the funny thing is with that is I'm not entirely convinced that if that is the case that Facebook's algorithms are working, because I mean with the aside of that advertisement, I think to be honest they just advertise to everyone
Yeah, yeah.
regardless. But considering, I mean, look at my kind of Google searches, my feeds, and it's full of things like, how long does it take a body to decompose? Ancient siege weaponry. Not once has Facebook ever tried to sell me a trebuchet.
Yeah.
I'm deeply disappointed in this.
Oh, will you be interested in this longsword? Like, I just, I think you are right actually, because what I also did, early this evening, leading up to this, I was going through Facebook. I say, but the games were fairly bland. But what I did notice was, when you get the random pages come up, and I had things on there. I took a couple of notes, which I mean I don't usually do for an episode. First one that came up was Baby Olympics.
I mean, the mind boggles.
I don't know what I've done. Maybe because I was at my son's sports day today, so maybe it's me talking about school sports day, and just instantly gone with this guy likes Baby Olympics. Don't get me wrong, it was impressive. Like it's actual toddlers doing like Olympic events. It was pretty good. Um, Places not to stay in Devon was another one of them.
I mean, that could be quite useful to know.
It is. Um, I assume, but I've been to Devon. I've been to Devon quite often. I quite like Devon. But was it? Oh, cookie cutter identification, and there's a Facebook page which apparently I may be interested in, dedicated to people who have got kind of biscuit cutters. They bake biscuits and they use the cutter and they have no idea what it's meant to be. Like that's a thing that people talk about.
I mean, that could be again potentially quite useful, interesting information.
It could be like I don't think that I need it. I can identify all the shapes of cookie cutters in my home. Um, I get a lot of stuff about Scotland, despite being the complete opposite end of the UK. And also, I noticed was an awful lot of Southend dog training. Now, for those not in the UK, Southend is Essex, and that's again a few hours drive away from where I am. So, I mean, I don't think Facebook has any idea what it's talking about. So people with these games are literally just putting so much money behind them to get, to get them in your face. But how? I don't even know how they make money, let alone have the money to make everyone see the female tree hybrid with men inside of them.
I mean, this is the question that baffles me is because I mean, it must be monetized in some way. And I mean, the comment sections on these things are in themselves entertainment as people try to work out. I mean, no one even knows what the concept of this game is. Yeah, you've got these little guys shooting into this tree tunnel woman, and then there's points coming out the top of her. And there's absolutely no correlation between anything else that's happening.
Points as in scores.
Yes, yes. So different types of men seem to get different scores, and none of it seems to make any sense. So, I mean, half the reason you watch it is trying to work out what exactly the rules and kind of dimensions of this game are. How does this world work?
How tempted have you been to download it?
Oh God, not in any way, shape, or form, because I have been down that road with other games, and I regret my choices to this day.
I'm one of the I'm not a kind of gamer as in computers set up and all that, but I do enjoy a mobile game. Usually things that just pass time, so nothing I have to get invested into. Just you die, you got to wait 3 hours for lives, and that's it. It suits me fine. But that's exactly these kind of games, because it will then come up and say, obviously when you lose your life, do you want to watch a video to get you? And you're like, well, okay, I'll watch the video, but I'm not actually going to watch the video. Haha. And you're like, oh, this game. Okay, so it's a stick man, and you got to throw a javelin at another stick person. I could. Oh, they're rubbish at it. Yeah, I'll download it and show it. And he's like, oh, I've just been sucked into this one. And then you play it for a couple of days, get bored, you see another advert, you click on that. Let's say it's me. This is me. I do. And then before you know it, you've got just 100 games downloaded, which are all essentially the same thing, and just some kind of almost downloadable clickbait games, which are all rubbish and weird. I have never clicked on the one of, like I say, getting the people undressed. I have got a number of very similar games where, have you seen the ones where you have to kind of set up a business?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm a big sucker for those. Currently, I have a thriving logging company business, a chain of hotels, fast food, and like sportswear. All these little people, they've got no features. You go around tidying stuff, stacking stuff. I mean, I'm basically like an entrepreneur. Like, I have started all these businesses, and they're all doing very well. I must say, not bragging or anything, but they waste a hell of a lot of my time.
This is how they get you, though. This is how it starts, and it's just a rabbit hole that you go down. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I have got a ton of games on my mobile phone. I have lost hours of my life to Raid Shadow Legends, which is brilliant. The games in themselves generally don't bother me. It's the advertising and the marketing of them, and in particular, the advertising and marketing of them to me in particular.
Feel like under attack.
I do. I feel like my relationship with Facebook has been damaged by this, because I feel like I'm putting more effort into this relationship than Facebook is. It's like someone coming home and bringing you a box of generic chocolates that you have no interest in. You're like, have you been paying any attention to who I am over the past 10 years?
Do you even know me?
Exactly.
You've got all the algorithms in the world, and you are giving me this this rubbish.
Exactly. Where is my trebuchet?
Oh, I love it. I actually love that angle. That it's just, I don't mind the advertising. I just want it to be kind of bespoke to me. Like, if I want it to be something, you built a relationship. I say the platform's been around a good while now. You just want it to have listened. And
exactly.
to understand who you are, what you're about, and send you something else to waste your time on. And why the hell not?
This is it. This is exactly it. If I'm going to ignore something, I want to ignore something that is specifically tailored to me.
If I want to ignore something, that's going to be the soundbite to the episode. Is if I'm going to ignore something, I'm going to ignore something tailored to me. But that's just a metaphor for life, isn't it? We all want to be loved, but we also want everyone just to leave us alone. Come on, Mark Zuckerberg, love me, but from a distance.
I mean, I think it makes me question, how interesting as a personality I must be on social media, because I do spend an awful lot, probably much more of my time on there than I should. And I mean, not just specifically games, but just general Facebook advertising. I will get adverts for weight loss products, for makeup, for baby related and pregnancy related products. And it's like Facebook just looked at me, took a 10-second glance and went, right, yeah, we've got that.
Yeah, literally
And
looked
then
at female of a certain age, and yeah, kind of just literally was just stereotyped profile and just threw the adverts out there.
absolutely. And I mean, some of the stuff, I don't even know what this stuff is. The beauty stuff. I mean, I think I actually posted once trying to ask what something was. It was this beauty device that Facebook clearly thought that I needed, which was very insulting in of itself. But it was a tiny, those old-fashioned non-motorized lawnmowers. It looked like
Yeah.
one of those, but a tiny one for your face. And the idea is that you run this tiny lawnmower over your face to get rid of the very soft, downy hairs on your skin. And I just thought, at what point have I posted anything up that made Facebook think this was something I needed? I'm there going through like my photos, thinking, I know I'm getting closer to 40 now, but I'm not sure I'm at this stage yet.
I'm not a miniature lawnmower for my facial hair stage. That. Oh my God. I get, do you know, so I get a lot of Wish and like those the cheap shop things,
Yeah.
and everyone tells me that that's all to do with algorithm stuff, but it isn't, and I will maintain this. Maybe people are going to accuse me of outing myself, but I get a lot of things which say they're one thing, but look a lot like butt plugs. Now, I know this is absolutely nothing to do with anyone who does, but I do not and have never partaken in butt plug use. Um, uh, but there's a lot of things. Like one was it was a bottle opener, and it was like, hey, look at this nice bottle opener, and I like that is a butt plug with a bottle opener on it. Um, and then people are like, Geoff, that's your that's your algorithm. I'm like, I honestly don't think it is. Like, I I don't think it is. I don't think I give off butt plug vibes. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't think I'm that guy. Well, I know I'm not that guy. Um, but they say it's, and I'm there like they don't even know me.
Yeah, and I think the one that's a really bad culprit for that is there's Wish, and there's also another one called Timu as well,
I've
which
heard of.
they advertise just relentlessly. But the stuff that they advertise, I mean, it's bizarre to a worrying level. And I know a lot of my friends, they like screenshot the adverts and they'll share them just because it's so weird and just so messed up. But there was one in particular where it was basically a leather gimp mask for a cat. Now, I want to know
Oh,
what kind of person looks at their cat and thinks, I know what you need,
I-
a tiny, tiny leather gimp mask.
there's ooh, there's a very very few occasions in the recording of this podcast where I have nothing to say, and that's one of them. Okay. A Git mask. Why could would you get a Git mask for a cat? Like why? What? I don't. The cat's not going to like that.
I mean,
Cat, cats are notorious for hating Gimp masks.
I mean, if that is your takeaway from this, Geoff, then I think I'm not going to get that for the cat because the cat probably won't like it.
The cat's not gonna. I'll love it, but the cat's gonna hate it. Like it's gonna claw me if I get. I'm not wasting my money on just getting clawed. I mean, my cat doesn't even. Like, we got kind of one of those bags, and it's got a little peephole, and put the cat in it, and it hated it. And we got a harness. We just wanted to see the world,
Yeah.
and it decided it didn't want to be well traveled. So I'm going to assume it probably doesn't want to discover its own sexual identity either. Give master a cat. That's amazing. I suppose, it's just cats like Halloween as well. So maybe it was just for that.
I mean, maybe that was it. But I mean, if you think about it, it's as insane as it seems, it is probably a genius level of marketing because they must get so many clicks from people who think it can't possibly
Yeah.
get weirder than that. And then we'll specifically go in just to see how weird it gets. And then probably get really disappointed when they just get there and it's just ice cube trays and things like that.
Yeah. Oh, is that what they do? So they kind of use a kind of a fake, not a fake thing, but like something to entice you in, like cat gimp
Yeah, I mean,
masks.
it's kind of clickbait, isn't it, really?
Oh god, I see. Oh no, I'm gonna have to. No, okay, I'm not gonna. If I see a cat gimp mask on Temu and an advert, I'm clicking on it.
I think you
But
should.
I'm not gonna click on any form of butt plug, no matter what it looks like. So I said that really seriously. Like you've been sending me the adverts, right? No matter what you do, you send me.
I just like the fact that you've got levels that you find acceptable. So
Yeah.
cat group mask, fine, butt plugs, no.
Yes. Now, if the butt plug had a cat gimp, no, it's not going to. I got levels. Yeah, I got my pride. I have no pride for my cat. There's no dignity. The cat will do whatever the cat's told. No, it won't. Um, but also I can kind of see it has got a gimmick, and then you've kind of got it on a nice kind of chain rather than a lead, and like you're walking it down the road. That's going to send the neighbours into an absolute frenzy. So depending on how you get on with your neighbours, I
I
suppose.
mean, it would definitely be a conversation starter.
That's it. I'll be on that whole next door thing. Ah, there's Geoff again. He's walking his gimp cat down the road in his underpants. And do you know what? That is the first time I've ever said that phrase. So um, we're on a night of firsts here. That's
I'm just glad that I could bring this experience and this knowledge to you.
yeah. And you know what? It didn't take that long to go from mobile Facebook games to cat gimp masks. Um, a little bit. Yeah. I mean, so, oh my god! But that's the, they said it can't be algorithms because, but it also is because I know I talk about a lot of things on this podcast, and I get a lot of advertising, certainly on Facebook, for podcast materials and softwares and groups. So I'm like, oh, okay, it is looking at listen to me. I'm only part of kind of one podcast Facebook group. So it's obviously taken that. I'm certainly not part of any kind of baby Olympics groups. So it kind of listens a bit, but it seems really weird that it just takes bits of information that it wants. Stuff people like Timu and stuff, they must just think this is brilliant. We'll put this on the advert and then it's gonna be ice trays. Which is just genius if you ask me.
I mean, a lot of it, it's just machine gun marketing, isn't it? They're just going to fire off 1,000 rounds a minute and then they might get one shot and that's it. And, I think algorithms play a part in it, but I think a lot of it as well is it's just the mass market appeal as well. I mean, prime example of that is I don't know if you get these as much as I do, but I must get about 20, 30 like a day adverts for werewolf shifter mobile romance stories, which I have
Oh.
never read in my life. It's not my genre. I'm absolutely happy for anyone who enjoys that kind of story, but it's not for me. But I'm assuming it's just because the whole Twilight thing came out a few years ago and all of a
Yeah.
sudden werewolves were everywhere. So I think some of it is they're just trying to put it out to as many people as they can and, chucking dynamite in the pond, really, isn't it?
Yeah, thinking there's still gonna be someone somewhere who's on that vampire werewolf train, which I mean, is everyone done with that now? I mean, I know vampires kind of maybe petering out a little bit, are they? I mean, there was the um, interview of the vampire remake last year or year before, which is very good, a series of it, but it seems to be kind of dying of it. So people who are, I think you're an author, right? So I was, slightly unconventional in mixing a lot of genres in together, or certainly more than two genres in together. Like, what's your opinion? Here we go. Hot take. Your opinion on werewolves and vampires right now. Is it done?
Oh, my hot take. I mean, it's not so much hot as it probably is lukewarm, but I mean, vampires and werewolves are never going to be done. Vampires and werewolves are awesome, always will be. Everybody loves a good horror vampire, a good snarling, violent way. Blood, guts, gore, fur, love all of that.
Mm.
What I am tired of, and what I think a lot of people are tired of, is anything that uses the word the alpha. The minute
Yeah.
I see that, I mean, if I have to see one more badly written, AI generated werewolf story that says, I just finished high school and now I'm to be married to the alpha of the pack, but he doesn't find me attractive. Now I must have a makeover and open a cupcake bakery. I will tear my own eyeballs out, wash them with bleach, and put them back in. No offense to anyone who likes those stories. I'm sure there is a lot to gain from them. It is not for me. Those ones, they need to have had their day at this point.
Yeah, I know. I will say those have passed me by. I've missed. Is that a bit? That's a big thing. Okay, I because I do. It is a cycle with your vampires and werewolves. But you're right. There's so much AI generated stuff at the moment, which is well, it's cheating. It's not. I mean, it's not even. It's not art. It's not. It's that's another conversation. But yeah, I suppose genres do go in a cycle, don't they? Because yeah, he had the 70s vampires, then the 90s vampires, and more vampires in the early 2000s. Now, yeah, maybe, or maybe we're already in the cycle again where it's just started. God, I hope not. But if they are opening bakeries, I'm going to question what's in those cakes.
I don't know if it's so much the bakery element of it that kind of gets my goat. I think
Okay, I picked up the wrong. Right, sorry, I do that a lot. I picked up the
I don't have anything against bakeries, Geoff. I just
right.
want to make that clear.
Okay.
I'm pro bakery.
Holly Tinsley hates bakeries. On a recent podcast, Holly Tinsley said her hatred for bakeries. Right, okay, so it's not the bakeries, it's more the.
I think the thing that I hate about it is that it is always a young, I mean, it's usually a just out of high school female character who has been promised in some way to this aggressive, toxic. It's the whole bad boy trope, and it's just so tired. And there are so many writers out there who are writing stories in this genre who are moving things forward so much in terms of, you know, character development and autonomy, and actually giving different characters a role within the world other than to just be the designated mate of this so-called alpha male. And it's such a poor example for, I'm going to get quite ranty here, for especially young women, young females who are looking through these things and thinking that, idolizing this idea of, the toxic relationship and those power,
the protector, the strong, the top. Yeah.
It's just so tired, and it just doesn't fit with how people should view relationships in any way, and it is just deeply frustrating.
Yeah, you're right. And it's one of those things where if there is a story and it's a great story and it has that dynamic, that's fine. It is the fact that it then gets replicated and replicated and replicated to the extent where this is the trope. This is how it has to be. This is the norm. Yeah, because also there's also usually quite a large age difference, which people are quite happy to ignore. But it is, and there's not enough. When I say there's not enough, no, that's like there's now more of those strong female characters, but certainly in that kind of, it is always this alpha male, and I think that term as well. I'm with you. I hate it, especially with the culture that has brung now into our world of alpha males and all that. And I just think the term itself shows exactly what kind of person you are. And yeah, it makes me cringe. But yeah, I'm a big advocate of strong female leads. And actually, I'm a big no, I'm not. I'm a big advocate of changing the norm and the normal dynamics and the way that literature and cinema has been for centuries. And what a lot of people get upset about now of, oh, it's all woke because it's this and it's because, oh, I'm sorry, just because everything isn't just a straight white guy doing everything, all of a sudden it's like, no, because believe it or not, that's not been the dynamic in the real world for a hell of a long time. It's just the people in charge like to see those stories. The problem is because it's pushing through, it looks forced when it's not forced, it's just finally come to the forefront. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. That's one that doesn't happen that often. And yeah, and you know what? I would love to see a book about this young college guy. He's gets straight out of college and he starts up a bakery, but he's got to be married off to the alpha female, and uh, and he's like, oh no, she's the strongest one in the pack, and I just want to bake my cakes. And Holly's there with a placard outside saying, "Down with the bakeries." Yeah, maybe that'll come. But yeah, long live vampires and werewolves. Just do it better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There are so many better examples of vampires and werewolves out there. You just need to not find them on Facebook.
Yeah, yeah. And if it looks AI generated, then pass it over instantly because there's people that put blood, sweat, tears, passion, joy, envy, and sadness, and lots of scrolling Facebook at gaming ads that are creating good stuff and original stuff. And yeah, AI is cool. AI, I've used AI to build presentations. Like that's fine. But yeah, stay away from it. It's too much. It's too much. We've got I had an AI oh my god engineer person on the podcast previously. And the good news is he doesn't think it's going to completely take over the world and destroy us all just yet. So that's the one good thing. So as long as people stop using it to write books and calling themselves authors, I feel like we're okay.
I mean, this is the thing with AI, and I have to be careful here because it is very dangerous to have an opinion on AI as an author. The problem is that AI is just being used for the wrong things. AI as a concept is really quite intelligent and quite interesting,
Yeah.
but we don't want to be using it to compose operas and to write books. We want to be using it to help people and further people's opportunities. AI is an assistive technology for people who are otherwise obstructed from doing things. That's what we want to
Yeah.
be using it for.
You want the voice of the author, the director, the composer, whoever you want to hear them in it. And if it's AI and if it's a computer doing it, just so that there was quite interesting. You said you started this by saying you've got to be careful as an author. What is there back? Is there a big divide in people who have without kind of putting yourself? We've already got the people who own bakeries after you. Let's not
This is the thing, I have to be careful not to anger too many people, but actually, do you know what? That is just pretty much a caveat that I put at the beginning of every sentence, regardless of whether it's about AI or not, because I firmly believe that having opinions on the internet is a very dangerous
Yeah,
thing. So
it
I,
is.
I try not to do it, which means I'm definitely on the right podcast at the moment. But I just think in general as well, I think with AI, there's got to be a distinction between utilizing AI as a tool to allow access for something that you wouldn't be. Perfect example is I have friends who are dyslexic who are using AI to be able to read and write text that they
Yeah,
otherwise would be completely barred from being able to partake in.
yeah,
But it can't be the thing that is driving the creation of stuff. It can't be the core of the content. It's got to be human based. It's got to be
mm,
the human element in it. We can't lose that. We don't want to lose that.
yeah,
We want humans to be creating stories and music and art and all those wonderful things. Let's get AI doing our taxes. No, actually not. Let's not get them doing our taxes. That's a very bad idea. That could go terribly wrong. Let's find some other mundane tasks that none of us want to do,
yeah.
that the AI can do for us, and then we'll do all the cool fun
Like
stuff.
those little sensor-driven Hoovers, like make
Yeah.
those slightly more intelligent. So yes, they will not get stuck in a corner, and they can also, if they see something that's dropped, they can kind of, I don't know, pick it up. I don't know what I'm saying here, but we don't want to come home and see that they've put a gimp mask on the cat because they've
Yeah.
determined that's what it needs. Um, Yeah,
This is the dystopian future we're heading towards, clearly.
robot hoovers putting gimp masks on cats.
Yeah.
There's a book in that.
It feels like this is the next chapter, Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh, dear. I need to. Yeah, maybe not another kid's book, but I need to write a book that just has that one line in it. I mean, that's good. Let's move moving away from it because it's a controversial topic. I mean, most people love it, most people hate it, most people just it's going to happen. We just don't want it to. There's so many places it's going to take, like the supermarkets and shopping, and when you're online and everything like that. We don't want it to take creativity as well, because I think I know creative everyone, like, even if you are a sports fan who hates cinema or hates books, then you wouldn't want to just sit there and watching AI generated sport for maybe you would, but like we've got the Euros going on at the moment. You wouldn't want that just to be purely computer generated, and this is the outcome. That kind of thing. So I think in context, most people will understand that it's not a great thing to take over creativity. And kind of a bit of a sidestep, but with the coming back to point A, what was point A? So it was Facebook gaming, cat gimp masks. We've been for a whole repertoire, but I mean, how then is it made better? This kind of Facebook games, is it algorithms? Is it the relationship with Facebook getting better? Should we put in? Yeah, because adverts are going to happen because Facebook's free. Would you fill in a 50-point, 20-point questionnaire about you, which you knew was going directly to advertising, if it made it very specific for you?
I don't know, because I kind of feel like that's me putting a lot more effort into this relationship than I'm getting out of it. I think, I mean, if I was to make Facebook advertising better, I think I would maybe have Facebook, like maybe have like one day a week where they say, okay, so for Holly, rather than telling her about makeup products and weight loss products and baby products, we're going to tell her about drills, and see if I click on it.
Yeah.
And if you just do that like once a week for a year, and then just see who's clicking on what, and the try and take some sort of record of that information. They could be like, right, today we're going to send Geoff adverts for beekeeping suits because
Oh,
we
yeah.
don't know if he likes bees. We don't know if that's something he's going to be into. It seems pretty cool. Let's see what he thinks.
And I am the kind of person, I'd be like, babe, I'm so sorry, I have just ordered a beekeeping suit, and then reminded that I don't own any bees. I'm like, yeah, but it's not every day you get this opportunity.
Exactly. You know what it is? It's Facebook advertising should be like the middle aisle in Lidl.
That's it.
If anyone's listening to this that has never heard of Lidl, the middle aisle of Lidl is famous for being this absolute mecca of complete randomness. It's like the aisle in the middle of the supermarket where you can get a drill set, a diving suit, and Manuka honey all off the same shelf.
It's Aladdin's cave. You walk in and you think, I'm going to grab my milk, I'm going to grab some bread, maybe some German sausage. I don't know. It's always there. I'm just going to go in. Well, what's in that middle aisle? Oh, what have we got today? Do you know what? Yes, I do want a 33-piece children's puzzle, which I've never seen before, but also some welly boots, which I can guarantee I'm not going to get electrocuted. It's right next to it. And is that more, if you could condense that into Facebook, is that more scattergun approach? Or is that just, let's see, let's just throw caution to the wind?
I think it's just the laissez-faire, let's just see what happens attitude to it. It just really appeals to me. I like the element of surprise about it.
Mm,
I like the unpredictability. And chances are I'm going to spend a lot more money that way because I will click on stuff just because.
yeah. I'm going to throw it out there. You are contradicting yourself slightly with the trying bits out because you did say that you felt Facebook wasn't putting enough effort into knowing you as a person and things that you've looked at. But maybe that's what it is. That is knowing you, knowing that surprise me. I want to be surprised. I don't want you thinking that I want makeup. I want you thinking that this person made by a beekeeper outfit.
I mean, I think it almost goes completely to the opposite end of the spectrum in terms of getting to know the customer base. Because rather than assuming that I'm going to like something or wanting me to put in information to feed their algorithm, it's literally Facebook saying, do you like castles in Limerick Island? Do you want to go on a holiday to Venezuela? Do you like dice? How do you feel about tiny teacups?
Venezuela to
I mean,
tiny
that's a level
tea.
of effort I could appreciate.
That see that's yeah. I mean that's what I would do if I had a multi-billion pound social media network. I'd be like, right, team, this week, well, let's have a look at the schedule. Monday, Venezuela, right? Tuesday, dice. Wednesday, tiny teapots. Thursday, we're going for cat gimp masks. And then Friday, it's party time. So let's do Australian wines under 9%. And then see who clicks what. Just just tug everyone with exactly the same thing.
I think this could be a winning idea. It's the new strategy for the future. This is what the AI bots can be doing.
Yes, this is what they could be doing. Maybe okay, complete out of box thinking here, right? And that's what happens on this podcast, right? Sometimes ideas come out and people think, yes, this could work. Social media platform, which is purely the most insane adverts. And all you do is you don't do anything. You just look and you're like, right, who's marketing what today? And it is just the craziest stuff on the internet that people are trying to sell. I would probably spend more time on that than I would Facebook, just to see. Like team ads, like I say, they come up and Wish and things like that, and I don't click on it because I'm too afraid. I'm too afraid that at some point someone's gonna, I don't know, bring up some kind of history and be like, Geoff, why have you got bottle opener bum bags? You opened it. It was ice cube trays, but you opened it thinking, and then I'll be like, oh no, I've been caught out. I don't know what the situation is. Where this is maybe I know I'm going for MP or something, and they're like, haha. But I'm too afraid to open them. But if there's just a designated social media of just like, look, here's where all your adverts are. Just you could generate money. Oh, sorry. Do you know what we haven't? Kind of in the process of kind of wrapping up, but I really hate those adverts. My biggest thing I hate these mobile gaming adverts where they're like, "Oh, make money from playing games," right? And you've got this woman there, and she was all like crying and I can't pay my bills. And she's holding a child. I haven't fed my children for 3 weeks, and like, oh, I could get paid for playing this game. Like, what are you? What that doesn't that all of a sudden all the problems are solved because she's playing Candy Crush through Mister whatever it is, and you're like, just no, don't trick people. Because yes, you may be able to earn money because it's all to do with ad revenue and stuff like that. But you're talking the price of a Freddo bar. Like it's not. It boils me to take advantage of people who enjoy a mobile game and may be a bit hard up on cash and thinking they could actually earn something and they can't. And so that's my little bit of anger.
No, I'm with you on that. I mean, I genuinely have had a friend who had one of those games and did it just purely to see if it was possible to make any money, and probably spent the best part of a month constantly playing these games. And I think that in the end, they netted about 89 pence,
Oh, see,
which wouldn't even
see,
get you a Freddo bar in this day
there's
and age.
it isn't the rise of inflation on the Freddo bar is criminal. But yeah, that's it, and they make it out. This poor this poor woman couldn't feed her children, but this solved everything. Um, yeah. So I mean, well, I don't know. With you, I quite like your idea of just send it out. They don't know. They think their algorithms know. Also, it comes down to whoever pays them the most money gets their adverts posted the most times. Yeah, we all get that. Make it a bit interesting for us, the consumer, though, right? I
Exactly.
I want to see some kind of bring your pet to Venezuela in a gimp mask with ice trays and see what happens. Like, advertise me
Absolutely.
that with I mean, I'm actually right. Oh, see, this is the problem with me. I'm now really fixated on getting this kind of beekeeper outfit. I feel like it's the thing that's missing from my wardrobe.
So this is the thing. The whole time we've been doing this podcast, I've just been surreptitiously advertising to you on
Oh,
behalf of Facebook.
you have.
So after this, you're just going to go out and buy a beekeeping outfit, go to Venezuela, and then wonder what the hell happened.
I'll just be there, and my cat would be like,
Yeah.
obviously you can't hear it very well because of the zip. Holly, that was that was a psychedelic ride. That seemed to go very up and down, right? We've kind of covered a lot from mobile gaming to consumerism to AI, back to consumerism. A lot of beekeeper conversations, and now I feel like it's me, you, my cat, beekeeper outfits, Venezuela.
As long as there's no bakeries, I am fine with that.
Of course, of of course, we got the. But if there are any bakers, we would like to say that it's all just entertainment, and Honey has actually nothing against bakeries, as neither do I. And also, if you are a high school graduate who happens to be a vampire, and if you're concerned that you have to marry the alpha, then please, in the bio, there will be a list of support groups that you can go to. Bacon is not your only option. There you go. I've got to do that. Just to make sure people are that are affected by anything.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Helpline. Yeah.
get the helpline going for teenage werewolves marrying
It's
alphas
needed.
in bakeries. Um, Okay. Right. Did we actually make that better? Oh, we spoke a lot in the last bit, so we made it better by.
I feel like the whole idea of taking the AI away from writing stories and creating art to purely functioning to formulate lists of random things that Facebook can suggest to us as consumers. I think that is a good use of AI's
That's
time.
perfect use. There's a perfect use. There you go. Sold.
We've made it better. We've made two things better there.
Make it literally pretty much everything has been made better just by this one conversation. Holly, no, thank you so much. I had a lot of fun on that. My head's and this is one of those conversations where I know that if it wasn't drawn to a close, it would go on far too long because I've enjoyed it so much, and your brainwaves run the same level as as mine, and that's a dangerous thing. That please do remind us exactly where we can find you, name of your books, name of your series, website, and social media. Go.
So for those who want to find me, you can find me on Twitter at Holly Tinsley, and the E in Tinsley is 3. You can also find me at my website, which is hltinsleyWrites.co.uk. The books that I have out currently at the moment are The Vanguard Chronicles, books 1 and 2, We Men of Ash and Shadow, and The Hand That Cast the Bone. I will just say now as well, the first book in that series does feature a lot of cake. So for the people out there who have been upset by this podcast, that's in there just for you. And then, so I'm just going to choke a bit there. My standalone, The Hallows, is also out. They're all available on Amazon. They're available ebook, paperback, and the first 2 books in the Vanguard Chronicles are available in audio from Audible as well.
Fantastic. Holly, thank you so much. This has been so much fun. I've literally loved every single second. Everyone, thank you so much for listening, or maybe watching with your ears if you're on YouTube. Find Geoff Jones and Friends Make It Better on Facebook using that exact name, and pretty much everything else is at Better with Geoff, where like Instagram is mainly me talking to my dog, which a lot of people have pointed out is far better than the podcast, but say what you will. Also some new projects coming up, and or maybe even out already, depending on when this goes out. But yeah, and all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for listening. It's been an absolute pleasure, and it's goodbye from me, and it is goodbye from Holly Tinsley. Say goodbye, Holly.
Bye.